Have anything to declare to the police?
Sir, what is the purpose of this stop again?
Purpose of this stop?
Yes.
We have it spot check. We check the vehicle, we check the passenger, we check the documents.
So you're stopping me because you want to check the documents?
No, really.
What else?
We just have a random check.
It's a random check.
Yeah.
Officer, my name is Jermaine Dunn. You know it's not legal to stop somebody for a random check? You know it's not legal to stop someone for a random check? Manchiel Police, yes? I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. You can't wind down. Okay. All right. Yes, I am. No, I don't need a permission.
No, sir, but remember, you have editing and stuff like that, sir. And you can have my face and things.
No, but that's okay. The police, it is clear policy that I can record. The policy of the police is that I can record. Yeah.
If you want
yes.
to, sir, take this thing out of my face, please.
All right, I just capture your face and I'm done.
Instructions.
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Switch off your engine for me, please. You're not
Switch.
following instructions.
All right, engine is off.
Corporal Wilson is mining. We're
Yes.
conducting people, vehicle safety, and passenger check.
Yes.
Anything to declare, sir?
May I take out my seatbelt?
Sir, are you listening?
Yes.
You follow instructions, and we go along, right?
Okay. Yes, officer?
You have anything to declare to the police? And if I am,
No, by the way, I'm recording.
yeah, let me see a vehicle documents along with a driver's license.
You say you're conducting people safety check?
Yes, sir.
That is not a lawful reason to stop me now. Anything in the public view.
I hope one day when you're recording,
Mm-hmm.
you find it very interesting.
I've always found it very interesting.
The reason why we stop
Yes?
is get a report that a Tida,
Yes.
was stolen
Uh-huh.
in Manchini.
I recognize the here where this vehicle come from.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know me.
I don't know you, sir.
All right. Morning, what's the purpose of this stop?
Not one intended, but I think that
Yes.
With that said, we're looking for a wanted person,
Okay.
stolen vehicle,
Yes.
anything offensive in the vehicle to declare.
One of the things I'm grateful for in this channel is that this channel is highlighting many of the holes that are in the state's agents' actions when they decide to interact with a civilian, such an ordinary citizen. Now, when you look at the many interactions I've had with constables, someone like myself who has average understanding and appreciation for the law, what you will see in those interactions is that constables many times, if not at all times, act outside of their jurisdiction. They act outside of what the law permits them to do. And if it's one thing I know, it is that constables are agents of the state. The position of a constable is a creature of what we call in law statute. And one of the principles of creature of law is that creatures of law are bound by law. Creatures of law can only do what is expressly permitted to them by law. So if the law say they can only search under X situation, then if they go outside of that, they would have acted what we call ultra vires, beyond their powers. Yes? So constables, it is important, it is imperative that you act within the law, that you read case law, that you read statutes, that you read the Constitution to know what the law permits you to do. Because remember, constables, when you act, you're acting as agents of the state and creatures of law. Because your position was one created by law, then you are bound to act within the confines of whatever that law expressly permit you to do. So let's say, for the example, the Offensive Weapons Act, that says in section 5 that a constable may search a person or their conveyance if said constable has reasonable suspicion that the person is carrying an offensive weapon, and that constable show his or her ID. Now, many constables are just boxing those away and just saying, we can search a vehicle. And they don't understand what reasonable suspicion means. And for me, in simple words, when you hear the word reasonable suspicion, it's not what you feel, not about your hunch, or it's about your feelings. It's about what the standard is, what a reasonable person would think, based on their knowledge of the law and the facts that they have at that time. Even when constables talk about that they get information, constables, if the information that you got is not from a credible source, or from a reliable source, or from a frequent source that you have tested and proven, then courts have held in many cases, I'll just go Google them, that information is not one that a reasonable person would act on. And so, without more, your actions would be malicious and be found to be without reasonable cause. Constables, note, I am not against you doing your job. What I am against is you doing your job illegally. Is you acting outside of your jurisdiction. That is what I am against. I am against a constable who thinks that because I drive a vehicle, then I have lost all reasonable expectations of privacy. And so he or she can just jump in my car, and if he feel like, say, he want to search the car, then he can go ahead and search it. No, that is not so. I have a fundamental right under the Constitution, under section 13 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom, to a right to privacy of my person and property, protection that is. So constables, yes, the Firearm Act gives a power to search if you have reasonable suspicion that the vehicle is carrying a firearm. The Firearm Act is not the only act that governs offensive weapons. The Firearm Act, if you look at the preambles in that Firearm Act 2022, the new one, you will see in the preambles that it says to provide particulars specifically to deal with firearm. Yes, but it's not to take away from the Offensive Weapons Act. It's only if there is a conflict between the two, between the Offensive Weapons Act and the Firearm Act, that's when the Firearm Act would take precedence over the Offensive Weapons Act. But the two pieces of statute, Offensive Weapons Prohibition Act and the Firearm Prohibition Act, they both governs police conduct as it relates to searching a person and that person's conveyance. So this is not about, and it's ever about, me having an issue with constables searching or stopping a vehicle to check documents, because I continue to remind the constables that Hemans versus the Attorney General is the common law in Jamaica. It's not written statute. When Justice Batts made that ruling, there was still a requirement that when the police request the documents and driver's license, you are to produce them. But Justice Batts made it very clear in Hemans versus the Attorney General 2013 JMSC, the Jamaica Supreme Court, in paragraph 58 of that judgment, that when the constable requests a documents and driver's license, that request must follow on some existing cause, such as reasonable suspicion that an offense was committed or that one is about to be committed, etc. It cannot be that you're stopping a person's private vehicle for the sole purpose of checking documents to see if those documents are in order. That cannot be so. If that was so, then why is there the constitutional standard that everyone has a right to equality before the law? Why is it that the common law has been and remains to this day that constables must not take actions arbitrarily? Because if you just get up and stop a vehicle, say they want to check the documents if them straight, then that would be the definition of you acting arbitrarily and without reasonable probable cause. See, until the day comes when Jamaicans start to file lawsuits like crazy, until that day comes, then I don't see where you constables will stop what you're doing, your unlawful actions. I do understand that sometimes, or many times, you constables find guns and other offensive weapons during these random and unconstitutional stops. And I do understand that there's a remedy when the right is breached. So, but if the constables and the state is going to say to me that, "Cho, you have a right, yes, but I'm going to breach it, and because I want to find a gun and the drugs, I'm going to just breach it, and I'm not going to pay my agents any mind. I'm going to just let my agents and just search what they want to search and find what they want to find. And when they find something, yay! Yay! Power to the people. Yay! Power to the people. Yay! You know? And when they don't find anything, cho, they idiot them, basically, that is how them look at it. They idiot them don't know how to sue, so cho. And the money with them have to take for go find lawyer, for go sue, guess what? You know, the attorneys out there don't want to help them, you know? So, and them now can't find the 500,000 or the $1 million that they might charge them for the retainer fee to file the suit. So they say, you know what, cho, the probability of anybody suing is down to 0. And that's one of the reasons I have started to teach people your rights. It's your right. You have the right to waive it, and you have the right to assert it. Failure to assert your right in a timely manner means you have lost it. Until next time, don't audit the law. Do continue to share so that others can be aware of the knowledge that is out there. Peace.